What's up?
Cool. I need some stuff.
What? Do you realize what time it is, dude?
Dude, I'm all out. I need my fix. I'm seriously freaking out here, dude. I need the stuff. Do you have any stuff? Do you have any fucking stuff?
Dude, I just ate the last of it, no joke, man. I don't even have it anymore. Go get some sleep. We'll figure out a plan tomorrow, alright? Dude, I'm sorry, man. I got nothing left for you.
That stuff. He's got stuff. Come here, motherfucker. I need stuff. Oh, I need the stuff. I need the stuff. I need the stuff. Dude, I'm serious.
I told you I don't have it.
No. You don't understand. I need it.
I don't have
Life and
any.
death. I need the stuff.
I don't have any.
What's that?
It's nothing.
You holding back on me?
Don't have any. Look, I ate that already. It's gone.
Good stuff. Yes, you do. You're lying. I can see the shit right there.
It's not what you think.
You don't understand.
It's not what you think. No, I ate that already.
Give me the stuff! You fucking bastard! Give me the stuff! No! Give me it! Welcome back to Descent into Horror Hell. What's going on, horror fans? We are Descent into Horror Hell, and we're glad to be back. This is
Ghoul.
And I'm Skid Gore. Stick around, we got a great show for you guys.
Cheers.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6, 6.
Hey boils and ghouls, welcome back to Descent into Horror Hell. Hope you enjoyed that intro. We haven't done something like that for a while.
That was a lot of fun. My beard still smells like marshmallow, by the way.
You know us in our intros. We love to do something different for you guys, so we're so glad we were able to do that for you.
Absolutely.
But I guess the reason why we did the stuff as an intro was because of a recent horror movie festival, I guess you can call it. A local theater, the Time Theater in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, put on a Terror at the Time. And it was a trifecta of horror films from the 80s. We had Night of the Creeps, Reanimator, and The Stuff.
Yep. It was a horror fan's nightmare come true. It was seeing those movies on the big screen. Like
absolutely. That. So cool. It's hosted by the guys who did Gags, the Clown. You'll be hearing about that, I'm sure, in the upcoming months. But they put that on. It was really cool. We got to meet a lot of cool people, talk to horror fans alike.
Nothing cooler than meeting people that are on the same wavelength as you when it comes to horror. That was really cool.
Oh, and to see these movies in the theater was just it was an experience. And locally, I mean, for us it's local. It's an hour and a half away, but still it was local. It was fun.
It's a fun trip.
But like I said, when we got there, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, it was, you're obviously going to see 3 great horror films in a theater, but you don't know if this is like some IMAX theater that they're renting out for the weekend, or is this going to be some low budget
little porn theater?
Yeah, I mean, and it turned out to be kind of that.
It's a very little old rundown theater, but a lot of history there.
And it was really cool. Like they started off with introductions to each movie, and tied it into a certain director, Larry Cohen, who we are kind of tying this into because of his recent passing away, which is actually kind of odd because this happened like 2 weeks after we saw the movies that the stuff and things like that.
And even Dick Miller was in Night of the Creeps, and he's gone too. So
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, man.
So it kind of ties into that, but we're just talking more about our experience. We'll get to Larry Cohen a little later.
Yes.
But it was kind of cool. Like, they introduced each film and did some about the writers, the producers, what else they did, how they collaborated on other projects, things like that. It was a lot of cool stuff. Some stuff we knew. Other stuff was kind of a surprise. Like,
I got 2 Masters of Horror questions right.
Yeah, and that was cool because after each one, a podcast, Video Junkyard, came out after each movie, and they did a trivia session where they would ask a question and then they would give away a shirt for that. And obviously, like the horror nerds we are, we got shirts.
2 of them.
2 of them.
I won both of them. Gave one to Ghoul.
So it was kind of like, so they came out, asked trivia questions about the movie or directors, actors, whatever.
Nice guys.
But it was cool to see these movies. I mean, I think the last movie we saw in a theater that was really like old school horror was Jaws.
Yeah.
And The Exorcist.
Yeah, we saw The Exorcist. Sure.
So I mean, anything.
It was just really cool. Like we said before, it was an experience. Like you grow up with these movies. And to see them on the big screen, it was just a huge experience and something that you'll never forget. And it probably sounds cliche, but man, until you see like some of these classic horror films that you grew up with on the big screen, you just can't fathom how cool it is, man. Because obviously we weren't there when they came out,
No.
But man,
well, you were, but you were way too young to go to them.
It's in my mama's womb. I was just the stuff. But yeah, man, it was a great experience, and me and Ghoul had a blast, and we can't wait for the next one for sure.
And we definitely hope that
we'll support the Terror on the Time for sure.
And hopefully we get invited to one of these at some point. We'd love to host something like that, or at least work with them.
Oh yeah.
Get honored to send a horror hell out there. But once again, Terror at the Time was awesome.
Absolutely.
But like we said, that did tie into the recent passing of Larry Cohen. And that, kind of, it was, for me, it was more of a shock and kind of very ironic because we just watched movies that were about, that he directed or he wrote it.
We actually
watched,
when we had Horror Night one night, I showed you God Told Me To.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's just this is such a recent thing.
It's alive. I mean,
and he's kind of one of those directors that who he is, the movies he did.
Yeah.
You watch the movies he did, but I kind of lost if he was even alive or not because you just don't hear about him. He didn't do a whole lot lately that I know of. I mean, he might have done. He did
some Masters of Horror.
Yeah, some more lower budget kind of stuff in series or collections. But no, I mean...
all genres, too.
But you're talking about a guy who wrote and produced and, I mean, not together, but he dabbled in a lot of different things. And he did, It's Alive. It's Alive
Classic.
2 from 74.
Anyone remember our Killer Kid episode? We definitely talked good about that one.
Everybody knows Maniac Cop 1, 2, and 3. The list goes
Cue
on.
the Winged Serpent.
Very underrated movie.
Very underrated movie about the dragon.
Uncle Sam, a mid-90s, kind of slasher flick.
Return to Salem's Lot.
Which is hilarious.
With Michael Murray of The Stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's a great film.
So, there's countless others, and it's not even just the horror genre. Larry Cohen really dabbled in a lot of different stuff. Sci-fi, too.
Pun intended.
Yes, he did.
I had to, sorry.
But he really did dabble in a lot of different things.
Yes, he did.
And it came across from mainstream to underground to major underground.
Absolutely. He was a jack of all trades, too.
But, Descent to Horror Hell, we like to always honor those who, we lose. And we already know this year started off shitty. It always does.
Yeah.
We always leave Kanye and Justin Bieber on this earth, but we take, these guys. And I understand, they live long lives. They're not young by any standards, but...
I can give you a list of people that I wish would leave this earth and the great people would stay.
Yeah, but you know what? He made a lot of great films, and do yourself an honor and really look into what he's done. Larry Cohen is just a master.
We always say this after every tribute too, but me and Ghoul say at least film is forever. So you had these moments, these great films that You will watch, your kids' will watch. The film will never die, and that's the great thing about it.
So the only thing we can do right now is we're gonna leave you guys not with a kill scene, but we're gonna give you guys
The man himself,
a little tribute. So, cheers, guys. Come back.
Larry Cohen.
Even when I'm directing the movies, I try to take everything that's been prepared and change it at the last minute so that it'll be fresh. Mainly so I'll be interested in it. We did the same thing as Fred Astaire in that famous dance routine where he danced on the ceiling. We turned the room 360 degrees upside down. The only difference is that in this one, it was on fire. With a pad and drew it, I said, Rick, give me something that looks like the Star Child from 2001 and a wolf combined, and put a lot of veins in the forehead. Get a lot of veins in the forehead and give it muscles. And that's all I told him, and he came up with this guy.
It's Alive baby is back again. Only now there are 3 of them. It lives again.
I must say, I probably enjoy directing the movies more, but I'm just waiting to see what happens. I figured maybe this will elevate my career to a level where I can make my own pictures with a little bit more money and the same freedom to do what I want to do. Because I noticed that even the name directors, when they're making studio pictures, everything has to be cleared with the studio. And there are very few original ideas that anybody comes up with.
Hey, what's going on, horror fans? We are back, and this is going to be a fun section that we all thought of this. Favorite known and unknown zombies in films. They're anything from the 30s to whatever. So this is
basically how this category came about was that there's so many movies, zombie films that we know of that everybody talks about the main zombies, the ones that you see everywhere.
Yeah.
Bub and whatever, and they're great zombies. But we want to talk about our top 5 each of the ones that you watch these movies and they stick in your head. They're in the background, but you remember them for just something stupid they do.
Just for example, like Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. Remember that wet zombie
Yep.
and the old lady and
there's just certain things that we remember. So that's what we wanted to dabble in. So without further ado, let's get down to our top 5 of known unknown zombies. Take it away, Skid Gore.
First one I have is Joe the Plumber from the Beyond, the Joe Fulci classic, 1981. We talk religiously about this film, and rightfully so. It's one of our favorites, one of my personal favorite Fulci films as well, my favorite zombie films. We were talking about this before we went on, like the dirty water that Joe rises from, and that noise he makes, that creepy noise. And then he grabs his wife and sticks her head in that nail, and it goes right through her eye.
I think the coolest part of that movie, like that scene, the build-up, because she just kind of walks in, the music starts, and you just see this water, and it's like something's in this water. Something's coming.
It's like, don't go there,
But she does. And sure shit,
And it's his wife, too. It's Joe's wife.
And it's so cool, because Joe's such a happy man. He just showed up to do
He just wanted to plumb, man. He turns into a zombie, goes through all that, never even paid him. Yeah. What the hell's that shit?
Well,
but Joe the Plumber from Beyond is one of my
top 5. There we go. Number 5 for me would be the nurse zombie from Dawn of the Dead, 1978, the original. That's cool. The reason why this stuck with me personally was because just the way that she just walks through that mall is so over the top, like stick, just you just see her. She's everywhere. Like every shot you see, you just see this nurse. Either it's the back end, the front of her face. Like it's just that iconic.
We're losing Wormface. Continue, Ghoul. I got this.
She kind of takes.
Stay there.
Like Dawn of the Dead has so many familiar zombies that we know of, that are recognizable and things like that. But she was just one that stuck with me.
many.
with her just her
Dawn of the
face
Dead.
and just kind of how she walks, that reanimation type.
Yeah.
So cool. So definitely Nurse Zombie number 5 for me from Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, that's a good one. I have the Templar Knights from the Blind Dead films, Tombs of the Blind Dead, Return of the Evil Dead, The Ghost Galleon, and Night of the Seagulls. No, that's not a movie about Manitowoc Marina, but but yeah,
I wish.
but yeah, man, they're just iconic. You know, they hunt by they don't see, because their eyes were picked out by crows, so they could never find their way back from hell. It's just Armando de Sorno. Definitely Spanish horde's finest. Definitely perfection
Yeah.
with the Templar Knights. Made it his own. Really, I mean, took a lot from Romero, obviously. Who doesn't? But made it his own. And the horses that they ride, and just the
slow motion that they
slow
show.
the slow motion shots, like
Love
in the
that.
mist and shit. And you know, they're raping women and torturing people with swords and stuff, and just the looks on their face. You know, they got these big beards and they're all skeletons, and they got these monk cloths on them, and
It's so
those
cool.
are just so. I mean, so many bands like Necrophagia and even Druid Lord and Moss, stuff like that. Like bands like that take so much imagery from it. It's a very death metal series.
Yes, it is. And definitely check out that Tombs of the Blind Dead collection if you can get your hands on
absolutely.
that coffin box.
Looks really cool on a shelf.
Yeah, and it's really cool. All the films, you get them. It's a little expensive now, but you can still pick
Armando
it
de Sorno, hail.
up. The next one I got is the Fat Zombie off of 1979 Zombie.
Oh yeah.
This is off the opening scene, of course, when that sailboat, Uncle Reed, or not Uncle Reed.
Nope. None of them did.
Yeah, thinking of the wrong movie here. But that sailboat is like kind of coasting through the channel, and the cops are like,
This is the Harbor Patrol. Anybody else on board?
Yeah, and they're like yelling at him, and there's nobody that comes out.
Yeah.
And the cop comes out of the bow, or from underneath or whatever, and this is just this fat zombie that's just there.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh, you stop right there, or I'll shoot. You stop right there.
Don't move."
And the zombie doesn't stop, and he just shoots him, and you just hear him go right into the water, and then it goes to the opening credits.
It's a great way to start a movie.
It's
for
a really
sure.
great opening scene to that movie, and it was just something that it's on one of the, I think, foreign movie posters.
Yeah.
I know he's on there.
The
I
fat
mean, you
guys
can see
everywhere.
him, but nobody really talks about him. It's just kind of one of those, uses that one-off zombie, but he's very memorable for that film, I think.
Not too many fat zombies too. I can think of him and Uncle Reach, and of course the fat guy from Dawn of the Dead. We gotta talk about him.
Yeah, the trunks. Yeah.
That's a good one. I have Kyra, man.
Oof, classic.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead, 68, the classic, the one, the only, man. Rest in peace, George Romero, and pretty much everyone else that we lost to that great film through the years.
Man, so many.
Yeah, I mean, she only has one line, and I believe it's, I hurt. I think that's the only line she has.
I think so.
And she's an icon, she takes that trough with her mother,
That face.
Yeah, like, you cannot beat that, and at the time, when that came out, like, no one's ever seen anything like that before,
Child killer, I mean, of all
yeah,
things.
definitely.
I mean, aside from M, I mean, that's when killing a kid in the shadow. I mean, you really didn't get much killing kids.
Herschel
I mean,
Gordon Lewis Gore. I mean, George Romero stepped it right up, man.
Yeah.
And it stands a test of time, and unfortunately, it's public domain. But the fact that it's public domain means more people probably have seen it.
Oh.
So in a way, it's kind of good. But they lost a lot of money with that film, and I know they made a lot of money for it and continue to.
Yeah.
But George Romero,
Rest in peace.
definitely.
Love ya.
Kyra, definitely my moppet of death.
Next one I got is the blue zombie from Dawn of the Dead. This is the one, the monk
the
or
freaky
whatever you
guy.
want to call him, the bald guy.
With the
I
tambourine.
can't think of his name.
With
Yeah, the tambourine, all the gold necklaces.
He was
and
a
stuff.
smart zombie.
Yes, he was. Well, he kind of got led to their hideout, and he kind of he kind of stopped and turned and looked at everybody and went,
Yeah. He was figuring everything out.
Again, these are things that, me personally, this is why it's my list. This is why it's his list. Because this is stuff that sticks with us.
We both love each other's list, though, for sure.
And this definitely, he just walked through that door, and he just has that, and he turns the door, and all of a sudden, he holds up the gun, and right through the head. It's it's so cool.
That's a classic.
And that to me was just, it was one of the cool zombies. You see him, in the beginning, and then you don't see him very much. And then you kind of see him near the end, so...
He was after Fran. He had a thing for Fran. He was going after Fran. Who wouldn't, right?
That definitely is number 3 on my
But
list.
Dawn of the Dead, I mean, just alone, we were talking about this before, like, there's so many iconic zombies in there. I mean, the helicopter zombie, chop zombie.
Yeah, the kids in the
Yeah.
house that run after.
You never point a gun at
Flurry.
anyone, mister. Scary, isn't it? We could quote this movie
So
forever.
good.
We're not
So,
going to.
move on to number 2.
I have, well, one that kind of fell through the cracks, but people know it. Her name is Julia. I don't remember her last name, sorry. But she's from Return of the Living Dead 3. Now, when I was just a little grasshopper getting into this gooey shit, when I was a little kid against my parents' wishes, you know the story. There was an old fango that came out that had a review of Return of the Living Dead 3, just kind of just came out, I guess. And she was on the cover. Julia was on the cover, and she was all gothed out. She had like the claws, and she was all zombified, and her dress was all ripped and shit. You could see her cleavage.
I
I was like,
that.
and for a kid, I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit! You know, I gotta see this
Hell
movie.
yeah.
And then when I finally did, it delivered, man. I think it's a Brian Usna movie, I believe. That's a great
That was
one.
alright.
I enjoyed it. That series went down that total shit.
Yeah, it did.
But 1, 2, and 3 are great films from that series. But Julia definitely made an impression on me, and I don't know if she does conventions. I don't even know her name. I probably should find that out because she's really deserving, for sure.
If you have a Return of the Living Dead reunion, maybe.
Yep, part 3. Oh yeah.
Next on my list would be Darby Jones from I Walked with a Zombie.
Hail.
Now this is a real
That
throwback.
was a real surprise, man.
This is a real throwback. This is for people who,
Yeah.
you know, they're stuck in the Walking Dead series. Like they're not going to know who Darby Jones is. If you ever watched I Walked with a Zombie or watched I Walked with a Zombie, he's the black zombie who, with his eyes bulging out, and he's just, I mean, his presence alone
We'll put a picture
is
somewhere.
terrifying. And we'll put pictures
When
out.
when he's in the sugar mill, or like when he's in the sugar their sugar
Yeah.
fields, and that shadow silhouette of him,
Oh, it's so creepy.
and they shine the light on him. He's just like,
And this is that's what this came out in 32, I believe.
40 something.
Oh, 40s.
Yeah,
I'm not even in the
I think it was
30s.
45. I believe it's a Val
But
film.
but still, it's the.
RKO.
But still, it's all about shadows with these kind of movies. I mean, he was, and that's the
Absolutely.
thing. You had the shadows on top of a guy who looks creepy as shit.
Yeah.
It's a win-win situation. So definitely Darby Jones. He really only did the one role that I know of. I really didn't do a whole lot of research on his career, but
I Walk with a Zombie's great.
definitely a classic. I Walked with a Zombie.
Well, this is my last one, I guess.
Here we
huh?
go. Our number 1, I guess. Or
And it's
5.
gonna go to this little ghoul down here. Fulci Zombie. I just call him Wormface, but he's actually a Spanish conquistador. I'm sorry, I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Classic.
classic Fulci. I know it's more known. I mean, I have it on my hat. I have it on my shorts. I have it on my truck. I have it on my wall. I mean,
Any of the
that
horror fans
iconic
know it.
poster.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got some.
Of this face. Yeah.
Yeah, that face. Just iconic. I love it. Absolutely. He he doesn't have a very long last because he gets impaled with a cross, I believe.
But he has a cool
and his
kill.
brain gets. But yeah, he kills that chick, rips her throat out. And I gotta say this
it's
real
awesome.
fucking quick, as far as this movie goes. Fulci Zombie was like one of the first extreme horror films I've ever seen. I've seen like, Day of the Dead, stuff like that. But Italian gore, bunching, spaghetti, zombie type shit.
Yeah.
The first one I ever saw was Zombie 2, aka Zombie. And also known as Zombie Flesh Eater. But that part, definitely the shark part as well. I'm not gonna talk about that.
Of course.
But this guy, when he rips her throat out, is so iconic. And you can just see Giordano de Rossi's effects. Like, you can just see her throat just open up and just like, geysers of blood.
Yeah,
It's just amazing, man.
Yeah.
Definitely mine. Go with your
Definitely
list.
classic. My last one is going to be Father Magruder from Dead Alive.
Stand back, boy. This calls for divine intervention.
But, and obviously I'm not talking about his character per se. I'm talking about after he was killed in the cemetery. That he becomes a zombie. And there's a lot of...
Oh, man. That's a good one.
Impregnates the nurse, and I mean,
Oh,
just also...
It's the pipes. It's the pipes. They do that sometimes. Those aren't the pipes, Lionel. That's someone doing their business.
I mean, the dinner table scene when
Yeah.
he's just staring
He
at
rips
her.
his,
and he-
rips his fucking his lips out like.
But he's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they
it's
have
just-
Ghoul's favorite of all time.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. I hate
Ghoul
that
loves
thing.
it,
I
baby.
hate that damn thing. But no, Father Magruder, that that Dead Alive 1992 Peter Jackson
Yeah.
splatter gore fest. I mean that stands still, I think, number one at splatter films. Absolutely. There's some that get close, but nothing beats it.
That's hard. That's a hard one to top. Dead Alive definitely hard to top, and we hope that Pete goes back to his old ways.
He's talking about he might. I mean,
I heard about that
too.
too.
The fantasy stuff and get back into
gets out of Lord of the Rings force and finally
get
gets some gore on him again. That'd be badass.
Well, guys, there was our known unknown zombies list.
Yeah,
Hope you guys
fun.
enjoyed it. We're gonna come back, and obviously, this episode is gonna take another turn because we got to do more tributes here because we lost.
It was a
few
bad
others
month. Let's say that.
in a few months that we didn't get to on the last episode. I know because there's a lot going on, but we're gonna leave you guys with a couple zombie kills. We'll give you a few this time.
Hell yeah.
So cheers, guys. We'll be back.
Rita?
Hello, boils and ghouls. Welcome back to Descent into Horror Hell. Of course, like we said, this year's been tough on the horror genre, sci-fi genre, whatever, in deaths. So this kind of turned into kind of a tribute episode, more than it did.
You can't ever predict these things.
Talking about films. But then again, these men did all films. So I guess it's kind of bringing up some other different films and stuff. But
yeah, absolutely.
I guess we have two more for you here. John Carl Buechler, who was a special effects artist, known for so many films in the 80s, 70s, 80s, not even the 90s, up until
Hatchet.
Pretty much as I mean,
Responsible for Hatchet
2 as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking movies. Friday the 13th Part 7. He
Oh, first of all, Friday the 13th Part 7 is the Jason that everyone remembers because, of course, that's Kane Hodder's first appearance as the character. And John Carl Buechler is responsible for all of that.
Yep.
All that. Like, when he takes his mask off and he looks like the Fulci zombie, that's Buechler's creation. And we see a spinal cord when he rises out of the lake. That's just classic shit.
Oh, and that's by a special effects master. This is like Tom Savini and
my personal favorite film John did was called Prison.
Dick Smith. I mean, all these guys they're just amazing special effects artists.
Absolutely.
We talked about Hatchet, of course, another Kane Hodder film. He worked in a lot of Kane Hodder movies.
Prison. Also, he met Kane Hodder in Prison. He's the only actor that would eat worms and vomit on command. So him and John became very good friends and work partners. And I haven't heard anything from Kane yet, but I'm pretty sure he'd probably take it very hard because they were very close friends.
I mean, we move on to out of the Ghoulies series, Ghoulies 3, Go to College. He did work. He worked on that one, and he wasn't just a special effects artist. I mean, he did writing, producing. He did kind of like what Larry Cohen did. He kind of worked and dabbled on certain films.
I remember when
Ghoulies 3 was.
I remember when I was small, I saw Carnosaur, man. That's left
another
a big
one.
impression because that came out around the same time as Jurassic Park. Of course, everyone knows Jurassic Park is the big Hollywood extravaganza, and then this little movie, this little Roger Corman movie that could called Carnosaur comes out, and it's gory as hell.
Yeah.
But John did all the effects and all practical Carnosaur, Tyrannosaurus Rex.
But damn it, Jurassic Park's so good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he also.
Halloween 4.
Name off a couple of movies here. Cellar Dweller, Dolls. He did from '87.
Stuart Gordon.
Garbage Pail Kids, which if you don't know that,
I
movie,
didn't know. I didn't know that actually.
He did some of the effects on that one, all the costumes
really
and prosthetics and stuff. Charles Band's Demonic Toys, Evil Bong, Ginger Dead Man. So he was really in the Full Moon. He was really in the Full Moon family with Charles Band, which is cool. Troll.
Yeah. Prison's my personal favorite.
I mean,
Seedkeeper did one called Seedkeeper.
Seedkeeper, The Fear. That was a '95 movie.
We're no experts. We're probably missing some, man. But
there's so many.
There's so many. You don't realize like we were talking before, like you don't realize until somebody dies how much work that they contributed to the genre. And it's like he did that movie, like Bride of Reanimator.
So many. And
so many.
I think he
From Beyond, another Stuart Gordon film.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah,
From Beyond.
I think he had something to even do with the original Reanimator. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but
it's
he was an effects.
Halloween 4.
Yeah, he was an effects master. Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the Dream Master, I believe he did that one. The effects on that. John was a great guy, and never got to meet him, unfortunately, but from what I hear, he was a very good, down-to-earth guy that would give you advice on effects, kind of like Tom Savini would.
Even Marcus Cook, I know, he gives, in the underground, he gives...
Fred Vogel, yep.
Yeah, they get Jeremiah Cruz. They give you, if you have a question and stuff, they're willing to help. And that's what's cool about...
Wish we could meet some of these people,
But we'll give you guys, like we did with Larry Cohen, a little tribute here. So for John Carl Buechler, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
We'll come back with another one. Cheers.
I think Reanimator is probably one of the best horror films in the last 5 years. I wouldn't classify it purely as horror. It has a lot of dark absurdity in it. Stewart has a very fine grasp of what is disturbing to look at. And he has a great ability to milk those disturbing moments. It's almost like a huge absurdist comedy with very, very black humor. Reanimator has become legendary. It's the classic example of a film on a very low budget, but because it was filled with good ideas, became something extraordinary and pushed itself beyond expectations.
But much of the success of the film will of course depend on the special effects. Just exactly what new things can John Buechler do with Dr. Hill's head?
In Bride of Reanimator, we're doing many variations of the Dr. Hill head. When we first find Dr. Hill, he's been crushed horribly. He's been squeezed and disintegrated almost. So when we find him in a carnival sideshow, he's got a big dent in his head. He does, however, go through some reconstructive surgery and is turned into the nice, smooth, perfect Dr. Hill that we all know and love. But additionally, we get to do some more fun things with him. We, in fact, graft some bat wings onto his head, and he can then fly around and do as much mischief as he'd like.
That was our tribute to John Carl Buechler. Hope you enjoyed that. I also got to say TerrorVision is one of my favorite films of all time.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I can't forget TerrorVision. Like I said, you don't know until someone goes, until how much material they made, but TerrorVision, definitely. We know it. Onto our second one, or onto our third one rather.
Tribute. Yeah, man, there was a lot in this episode.
This was a bad month, guys, for horror.
So we apologize for the downside. We're trying to keep it uplifting.
Yeah, we're trying to celebrate their lives and their work.
Yeah,
through film.
So next one.
This is a classic here. Dick Miller. That's right, Dick motherfucking Miller. This guy was a legend. An absolute legend.
Yeah.
Walter Paisley.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Walter Paisley.
Yeah.
He made an appearance in 3-4 movies, and they're all different. Obviously, A Bucket of Blood is just such an amazing film. One of Roger Corman's personal favorite films, and Dick Miller
I love that movie. Such a creative story, too.
Yeah, it really, that part where he stabs the cat.
Through the wall.
Making all the sculptures and shit. That was a great movie.
I just love when his love of his life finds out that, he killed her.
Yeah.
So mad. It's so sad, but, I love animals and stuff, and it's you see that, but the concept alone, he would just wanted to be famous, and...
Yeah.
Any way possible.
Absolutely.
The Burbs, of course. Tom Hanks.
I think he plays Walter Paisley in that one too, as the garbage man.
Yep.
He's the garbage man just bitching when Tom Hanks and that other guy are going through the trash. Oh shit! Who's gonna clean this shit up now? Yeah, that's Dick.
Gremlins,
classic.
Very classic.
Can't forget.
I think that's what a lot of people know him from.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely got to say Night of the Creeps.
He was also
we just saw Night of the Creeps like we were talking about before the Terror of the Time, and he was in that. And he's the guy that's giving all the weapons. Yeah. He's that weapons guy.
Yeah.
And he's telling his Tom Atkins character. That was cool.
Oh, he was the cop, wasn't he?
Tom Atkins was the throw me guy. Yeah.
Chopping Mall, of course, the robots that take over the mall.
Killbots, absolutely. He plays Walter Peasley in that one too.
And The Howling, can't forget that one. He played a
The
lot
Howling,
of classic,
crazy fuck.
a lot of classic horror films.
So many great lines in The Howling, for sure.
You know, and he was kind of just one of those guys. He always seemed like he was having fun in what he was doing.
He loved what he did.
You can watch any like off-screen shots from like A Bucket of Blood and stuff like that. Like you could tell he enjoyed.
And he really
what
was.
he did.
He really was a jack of all trades individual.
Oh,
Like he could do it
absolutely.
all. He could do so many different types of roles. He was thrown at him, whatever the script was. If he had a good script, hell, even if he had a bad script, he would make it good. It's kind of like Peter Cushing. Like he would make the best of a bad situation. You know.
Pretty much.
But every movie he was in that I've seen personally, I love, and they're classics. So definitely Dick Miller. This is getting old, ghoul.
I'll just put that down, but thank you.
Rest in peace, Dick Miller. We shall return.
Certain directors have used me over and over and over and over and over again. Roger Corman and Joe Dante, and they say, "You've been in all his pictures? Why?" I said, no. There's nothing going on. He just likes me.
Are you a method actor?
A method, yeah.
What is a method actor?
I don't know.
But what kind of actor are you?
I'd like an answer to that. You know, Spencer Tracy said something about you know your lines and hit your mark. And I've known that. I know my lines, and I hit my mark, and that's it.
Hello, welcome back to Descent into Horror Hell. We're going to do our last tribute here.
Thank God. No one else die, please.
This one was kind of a tough one because he's from a movie that I think everybody remembers so well in Day of the Dead. Joe Pilato. He played the asshole sergeant.
Captain Rhodes!
Yeah, Captain Rhodes.
AKA
asshole.
Captain Rhodes.
And everybody knows about the ending scene with him.
Got a feeling I'll probably seen that later. Just a hint.
I mean, you know, there were a lot of movies that we always bring up that we didn't really personally think. And
I'm sorry, but I gotta say, I'm in this fucking monkey farm now, Frankenstein, and I wanna know what the fuck you're doing with my time! I'm sorry, man. So many great lines in Day of the Dead, man.
But yeah, I mean, you don't when somebody passes away. I mean, we do our part and we do some research and we try to figure out. There were movies that these people we don't even know they were
no
in
experts,
or
guys.
whatever.
We
We come off the bat and say we're not experts at
We're
this.
just doing this for the love of it.
So we're gonna throw some kind of we kind of went through some of the movies and stuff and we kind of went, holy shit, I didn't realize he was in there. And then when you actually looked at the characters he played, you're like, I do remember.
I forgot he was in
actually
Pulp
there.
Fiction. He played Dean Martin.
Yep.
I fucking forgot.
He looked like him too.
Yeah, I forgot.
Dawn of the Dead in '78 he played.
Yep. Yeah, the extended cut of Dawn of the Dead, you can see Joe when Peter and Roger are getting on they're stealing the helicopter, the news helicopter. Yeah. You know, they run into Joe and his cronies, man, and they're like, that's the scene where you got any cigarettes? That guy, yeah. That's cool.
Wishmaster from '97, he was in that one.
He plays that fucking guy that is drunk on the dock, and he drops Robert Englund's prize statue.
Yeah.
Jim.
Alienator, which I've never seen. That was from 1990. Another one, Empire of the Dark from 1990. And then he played a couple of offbeat roles or even main roles in newer films that I've never seen. I know he did Night of the Living Dead Origins, and that came out 2015, 14, 13, I don't know.
I think a lot of people know Joe for, though.
But what you do know him for is the early roles and what he made famous were the lines and the character of, you know, Captain Rhodes and things
and
like
definitely
that. So.
horror conventions. I can't stress that enough because he was like kind of he would go to all these horror conventions and meet his fans. And he had millions of fans throughout the world, and rightfully so, man. It seemed like he was a really cool guy. I watched you know, the making of Day of the Dead on that version I have, you know, and they have interviews with him and the rest of the cast. He just seems like a really cool, down-to-earth guy, man, that I would love to have met at some convention, for sure.
Well, guys, that is actually going to wrap up our show here. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was kind of a downer just because of
hopefully next month is a little bit more cheery.
But hope you enjoyed the zombie section. Definitely check out some of those zombies. Watch them again. Check out some of the movies we gave you from, Larry Cohen, John Carl Buechler, Joe Pilato, Dick Miller. I mean, check them all out.
Absolutely.
Always keep watching horror.
Support horror.
You know.
Keep it going, guys.
We do have business cards, by the way.
We're moving up, Ghoul. We have business cards.
We're moving up. I know this doesn't help you guys, but we just want to say
share our page, goddammit.
We're moving up in the world. We're trying everything we can to get this page.
Share our page, share our video, share our
out
stupidity,
there.
share our horror knowledge, whatever. You guys like us, please share us. We're not going anywhere.
I'll post the website again right down here. You guys definitely go check that out. It's got all of our episodes on it. Anything that's on YouTube is all going to be on there. We got some funny outtakes, movies, commercials, you name it. Any stupid thing we do, any outtakes, blah, blah, blah.
And it's getting nicer outside, so myself and Ghoul cannot wait to start making more short films like we did with the Shadow of Manitou and various others. So we can't wait to do that. Can't wait to get to smear blood all over each other and kill each other and all that cool shit.
So, as we say with each episode, I am Ghoul.
And I'm Skidgore. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Rest in peace, everyone we mentioned to. We love you all.
Cheers, guys.
On Descent into Horror. Yeah!